locksurgeon.com.
That's locksurgeon.com.
I've been job hunting for months, but I don't have the skills for the jobs I want. I've been job hunting for months, and with the help of Work First Alberta, I got hired.
Work First Alberta can help you change your story. It connects job seekers with training and resources to find meaningful employment. And it can help employers find qualified candidates. Learn how you can change your story at workfirstalberta.ca. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Hey, it's me, Frank Ron on the Big Show.
Oh, slowly good stuff.
You're listening to The Big Show with George Russick and Matty Rose on Sportsnet 960, The Fan.
You know, I always held my breath when I got put on waivers, like, so who's going to grab me now? Nobody's grabbing me.
That's what Big
Show, Russick and Rose, Sportsnet 960, The Fan. It is Election Day in Calgary. This program is the political fulcrum of Alberta politics. This show.
What? That's why I listen to Sports Talk Radio, sir. That's right.
It's funny, you were listening to it the other day.
Right.
There. Oh, wait. 960 on the Jason L. Mortgage text line. If you were elected the mayor of Calgary Sports, what would be the first two things you do in your first day of office? What would you do? 960. We'll go Matt, Patrick, TBC at 8:30. See what they would do. The first two things. You get two things if you're elected the mayor of Calgary Sports. Frank Ron, media superstar in the studio right now, Big Show Flames analyst, the host of Flames Alumni Chronicles, and you're on the panel tonight on Sportsnet. How do you find the time?
My day has 28 hours.
Okay. You're 8 days a week. That's what you do.
What? Yeah. I figured out a loophole. I'm everywhere. What do you... Okay. Yep.
We'll let that one be.
Marinate.
Wormhole in time.
Yep.
Still to come on the show, Kevin back to 8th Lego, but first, the hot, fresh, steamy, okay, at 32 thoughts. Well, yeah, might as well give their sponsors some love before we make this get
Right Cross Garage, Bell Bank Door Services Limited. Your go-to service company for the last 38 years. Offering 24-hour emergency service, product repairs, anything that swings lines for gold. Call 432-6. Uncle Dealer.
We know the Flames are in dead last in the NHL right now. Dead last. Not good. Minus 14 goal differential already, and we're only 6 games into the season. Tough. Didn't have a 4-game losing streak. Longer than a 4-game losing streak last year. We got a 5-game losing streak. And Dustin Wolf, you know how many times he was pulled last season?
I do enjoy.
0. Once. He's already been pulled this year, and we're only 6 games into the season. Elliot Friedman of the 32 Thoughts podcast, Hockey Night in Canada, Sportsnet NHL Insider, the hot, fresh, steaming edition of 32 Thoughts, talks about the Calgary Flames and kind of what the direction should be of the franchise. Do you want to hear what Elliot had to say on the newest edition of 32 Thoughts? Play it. Do it.
The best thing they can do is if this is the year where they say, all right, do we have to feel some pain? This is a really good draft. It's going to take somebody inside the organization standing up and saying, people aren't going to like this, but this is what we need to do. And if it doesn't get better with the group of guys we have, if they can't dig their way out of it, we cannot do a short-term fix. If anyone comes at us with a short-term fix, we either have to hang up the phone or tackle each other so nobody can call Central Registry. And they just have to grin and bear it. If it really goes off the rails and you get a high pick, when I look at the Flames, what do I think they need? If you can get a McKenna or a high-skilled player at the top of the draft, that's what you need. It may look like it's 6 to 8 months into the future, but you don't think you'll be able to sell tickets to the new building with somebody like that there on your roster? I they're saying in that organization. Are you kidding us? There are 75 games to go. And yes, maybe they're the team that gets hot after the way this started, but I would be demanding if our group turns it around, they turn it around, we are not doing quick fixes. No way.
So it looks like Calgary's tanking her
Of
this
course.
year.
That's That's the thing we've been talking about on this show. Would it be nice if you kind of just be a bad team in the last couple of years here in the Dome, and then when you move into a brand new barn, you have this young, exciting team on the ice? We've been saying that on this show for, I don't know, a couple of years now. There's a couple of things there. One, I don't think it would be nice to be bad. I don't ever think it's nice to be bad. But the other thing would be, like, they're already getting pretty close to the new building. Like, anyone that you're not drafting in the top 3 or 4 of the draft is not going to be an impact, like, player by the time you open the new building. Like, I don't think Kolresny maybe won't be a player by the time they open the new building. Might be kind of tweener type of guy.
Well, Calgary,
Those are the guys
everybody.
who took in the first round last year. Right. So, unless you... I understand
Starter
your point.
out
Yeah.
here in the dark.
You could. Like, likely chances are that anyone that you draft at the top of the draft in these next 2 seasons before you move into the new building aren't going to be factors there.
Well, let's get
That's
a
what
new
I'll
bar.
Better start late.
Agreed. Like I said, unless they're the top 3 or 4 guys at the top of the draft. Sure.
Do you not think that, and it's just easy to say from here, but take a risk, right? Like, we can say, look what happens in Buffalo. They've been rebuilding their team for 800 years.
Again,
And
with-
you can't use that as your barometer, because that's the worst case scenario,
That's
right?
all I hear on this radio.
This flame,
Buffalo.
right, 'cause that's the worst case scenario. You can't say that. That's not
What
your
about
barometer.
Colorado? What about Chicago? What about Pittsburgh? What about the Habs? All those teams at the bottom, no, they won championships. But Buffalo, look at Buffalo. That's everyone. What about Columbus? What about Detroit? Like, there's lots of Detroit was a team that won for,
But we've also 20 years in a row.
and now they've been garbage for 15 years. That's fine. But also not championship. Championship.
You're not losing, like, you're not deliberately losing. You're just not trying to patch it up for a short period of time. Like, it's risk versus reward. This team, we marvel at game breakers, right? Guys that can split the game wide open. And for the longest, we had Gaudreau, we had
Going
Chuck, we
good.
had,
Welcome,
Linden playing well,
Hey,
right? We
Melissa.
had guys
Hey,
that could
Giorgio.
good game break,
How's it
and
going?
we made it to the second round, right? Because we dissected the core, and when they were in Calgary, we're like, these guys, they can do it over the hump. They're good in the regular season. Can they get it done in playoffs? So it's a hard league to win it. We've seen this hockey club, the Calgary
there you
Flames,
go.
finish
Woke up.
middle of the pack for a long time too, right? And so now you're going to have to make a decision. That risk
Holy
is very
crap,
hard.
he's
What
got
are you going to
back.
get? I care less about the building. You sure that's awesome?
Yeah.
But I don't think on the whiteboard in the war room with the Flames are saying we need to get ready for the new building. I think they want to build a
across the
consistent
field.
winner. And so that starts with your core, that starts with your group of players you're building around. And it would be super nice to, that's an understatement, to have a guy that's exciting, right? And because you get the draft high, in the draft doesn't necessarily mean that's the case, unless you're trying to grab McKenna or Dupont, right? And it sounds nice right now, but I'm to the point, me personally, where I'd like to see a risk taken. I would.
What do you mean by risk? Like be bad?
Well, just accept the fact that you're going to lose with what you have. And if you go out and sign a free agent or make a trade, like, oh, we're gonna lighten the load so we can finish a bit higher and still not get into the playoffs, what's the point? Right? They have a plan in there. They do. It's hard sometimes when things go as well as they did last season from a number of players to not. You always set the bar higher every single season.
And I get what you're saying, but we as fans and media forget that some teams are owned by ownership that all they want to do is make money. It doesn't matter if you win championships, it's making money. It's being in the black. Will ownership let this management group bottom out and have an empty Saddle Dome for the next year and a half? Are they going to let that happen?
You know what?
Is it For the
Actually,
long-term
it'd be dark for
health
a
of the
while.
organization to be a legitimate Stanley Cup contender, because that's what we're talking about here. I'm not saying you win champ, but you have to get at least in the dance where you have players where you can legitimately say we can win a championship. To get there, you have to get those players at the top of the draft. That's what you have to do. That's simple. Are they going to let this team do that? And what Elliott said, it's not a surprise. Don't go out there and make that move to try to incrementally improve the team. Yeah, for sure. You want this team to be bad? Oh, this team can be really bad. You start taking calls on Donovan Padre. See you later. There's a huge piece gone. You trade Rasmus Anderson sooner than later. There's another massive piece. You want to get really, really bad? You take calls on Mackenzie Weegar. This can be really bad, and then you let all your... Once again, I always go back to the fine line between completely tanking it and making sure you have some good veterans around. That's why I would never trade Mackenzie Weegar from this team. But I think you don't need to trade those other guys to show that you're a bottom 5 team in the NHL. You already are. I also think that Coleman's on that list. You know, if you're Craig Conroy, you took over in March of 2023, May of 2023, whatever that was, May of 2023, and the mandate from ownership was get this team back into the postseason, not tank this team, not tear it down. Even though I bet that if you asked Craig Conroy, he probably thought the best direction for the organization at that point was to do more of a rebuild rather than to try and get into the playoffs. But the mandate was what it was. So we went out, tried to make some moves, tried to trade for some impactful guys, tried to make the team better. Now at this point, I think that you can actually go to ownership and say, listen, with what I was given, with what we had in our organization, with what was available to us by free agency, via trade, we tried to get better and we tried to get to the playoffs. And look where it's gotten us. And look where we're starting this year. Now I think that this is a place where if you are the general manager, you can go to ownership and you can try and sell a year or two where you are actually bad. Because you actually went out in the first couple of years trying to be the GM and tried to make the team better like you were mandated to. I think it's a lot easier to sell now with the chance of keeping your job and continuing to be the GM, because I think he is the right guy to do it with this team. But I do think that he's done enough over the first couple of years where I think he has the cachet, whatever you want to call it, that he could go to management and say, listen, we tried, we have to do something different, this is the best course for the organization as a whole, and we be bad this year. We don't go out and we add a left shot defenseman to stabilize our defense for a mid-round pick. We don't go and add someone who's a marginal goal scorer on another team that's not getting played for a mid-round pick or a prospect. We avoid all that. We take our lumps here. We move forward. You eat the bad season, and you hope to get a good player at the top of the draft. I've said it for a while. Like, I think the best situations for the lottery is when you fall into it, not when you tank into it. And that's exactly what this team has done this year. And especially with the two guys coming up here, right? And Matthew Schaefer's having an incredible start to his career in the Islanders. He's 1 point away from tying the record for most points consecutively in a game to start a career. But you have two guys who, by all accounts, and we have guys that know a lot better than we do, and Jason Book was saying, the next two guys at the top of the draft are franchise teams. The Flames potentially have a chance at both of those guys, if they're that bad. Because if they're going to finish near the bottom of the standings, unless Wolf just single-handedly drags this team to a better spot, you have a chance at grabbing one or both of those guys, realistically, in the draft. I'm sure San Jose will have a word in it. Chicago's actually got off to a good start. We don't think they're going to look like this year. But the way the Flames look right now and how hard it is to score, that guy's there right now. He's 17 years old, playing in Penn State, making some good bank for a 17-year-old. But that guy's a franchise changer. And if you even have, I don't even know what the percentage is. If you have a less 8-9% chance, don't you take that? Opposed to trying to be a team that's trying to eke into the playoffs and legitimately have no chance of winning the Stanley Cup. You know what, like, George? Let me know, bro. It's like your platoon.
How's it going, buddy?
Stuck in the forest.
This is Calgary, Alberta here.
Okay? And getting voice back on
This place is all about, right?
acumen. He's got the smarts to do it. What we forget a lot of the time, too, is pin everything on the general manager. The general manager, if the organization, if guys' pockets of money that they have to make decisions on where the team is going. And it takes trust. You have to believe in the job, the person that's doing that job, to build your team. I think Connie's done that. I really like what you said. And it's going to be... I was a part of... Well, when I came here to play for Friedman in the late 90s, the Flames weren't a very good club. And I remember being in the rink and Ken King coming down saying, here's 30 tickets. You guys just bring your buddies, bring your billets, bring your friends, go to the mall, you know, take your girlfriend, take whoever you can, and just fill the seats and bring people, because there was that many tickets available. And you go to those games and it wasn't good, and it does suck, and it is painful. It's not fun at all. But you don't do it because it's not fun. You're doing it because there's a purpose at some point that you're going to get a player that can change the organization. So, I think it's difficult. It's not just like snap your fingers, this is the plan, we're going to be better next season, we're going to get our time, we're going to go.
You can't just snap your fingers and win the lottery, too. No, you can't. But also, Jason Bukla said this is a very, very deep draft. Yeah, but there's also a difference between who's at 4 and who's at 1. Sure. And you can be the worst team in the NHL and get 4, no problem. That happens too. But also, the guys up north can do it, why can't we? For a long time. A lot of time. Long time. I would rather be someone who's fighting for the playoffs every year, even than go through 15 years or whatever the hell that was. Well, yeah. Well, 15 years is a long time. It's always fun to talk about the future of the organization, but the present, Saturday night, Flames lose 6-1 to the Golden Knights, and Hockey Night Canada analyst, my teammate, Kevin Bieksa, had a specific member of the Calgary Flames. This has kind of been making some waves on social media, and Wes Gilbert even wrote a piece on it. If you haven't heard the Kevin Bieksa clip on Yankovic, here it is from Saturday night.
The concern is if you're losing games and guys are not giving it their all, that's what I would be worried about. You know, the culture of the team. Like, it's one thing to lose, but it's the way you lose. So, like, this is a 6-1 game, and it's like Yankovic. Watch this effort right here. Down 6-1. But I think he apologized. I literally think he apologized for almost running into Carlson there. Like, I would absolutely lose my mind on the bench if I saw that, and I don't even know if the coaches saw that because there's so much going on. You watch that in the video, that's a culture thing for me. So I would show that clip in practice, and I would say, where are my guys that care? Where are my guys that care about losing? I'll play Longbird. I'll double shift Longbird the rest of the game. If that's the way guys are going to compete, Klapka. Like, play the guys that care. If you're going to get an effort like that from a guy, get rid of him. You know what I mean? You're disgracing the NHL with an effort like that. Down 6-1, be a little mad. Like, as Brian Burgess said, give a guy a dirty look. Like, hate to lose. Like, I hate to lose more than I like to win. And that guy doesn't hate to lose. And I wouldn't want a guy like that. And I'm picking up one thing, and I don't know, like, how long your shift was. I don't really care. But that's a pretty glaring problem for me if I'm anyone in that team.
I had heard that. Like, it's not wrong. Like, PX is a, you know, like, when he played the game, he was a fiery player, right? Watching an effort like that blows minds. He's played with guys like that over the years. Like, the NHL has a handful of guys like that, at least. Because Patrick Liney, right? He doesn't do, until you notice him on the score sheet, you know, Yankovic was out and scored 5 goals for him. I was like, wow, that's why we got him, right? He's a painful player to watch. He doesn't command you.
It'd be nice to see him score 1.
No. I hit the crossbar on Saturday, but PX is also talking like he's still in the dressing room, right? When I got 0 issue with that, that would get snuffed out. I do believe the Flames have a good core of guys. I think Kadri's sitting there thinking, yeah, that's... I don't even know if he notices that, because that's kind of the effort that Yankovic tries to score feels nice, right? Just because it's on hockey night, and the Flames have been on a downturn, it's easy to kind of pile on. I understand all that. Yankovic, you can pick on him all you want. He's that player 9 out of 10 times. Right? And if you want to talk about the culture, you don't know enough, I don't think. But I do agree with that. Nothing would drive me more crazy than being down. Care. Just care, man. Care.
For that guy for parlaying the season a year over 2 years ago, scoring 30 goals on a bad team, parlaying that into about $25 million. Good for him, for sure. Took his money
Just
and...
have the tunes going on in there.
What's the you talked about earlier. You talked about contracts and motivation. What's his motivation? Does he want to go get hurt? Oh no. Does he want to play hard?
For fuck's sake,
But that's
fucking fatty.
play hard, right? I know. That's like my entire thing with that was like, okay,
Early.
cool. Like, tell me that you don't ever watch the Flames. That would drive me nuts. Yeah, sweet. We do this every night. Yeah, and we've talked about it. Like we've had this conversation multiple times already this year about.
Oh, how's everybody this morning? Welcome to the show here, Calgary, Alberta. I'm in a John Deere 190 wheeled excavator. We got a swivel and a concrete bucket on it. That's what makes this machine fun. Chilly Monday. Fucking guy. We're starting to get some light. A little bit of light. Driving, Neil. What, did you just wash it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, I just said, I was like, why is this fucking truck soaked?
The other day he spilled diesel all over the fucking, like the cap came off and it spilled everywhere. So I just went down to Chaparral and
Oh, it's like, what the
yeah, I gave it a little bath, right?
Yeah.
Like a quick.
Oh, just this time of year, trucks showing up wet, it's like, fuck, you're gonna freeze it for fuck's sakes.
I just gave it a little wash, right? Might as well get the lights all cleaned up and shit.
Yeah. You know, it probably hasn't been cleaned for, well, fuck, unless you've been doing it every time you do
that
it.
smell of diesel is just driving me crazy, right? Fucking, I can smell it through the cap. Fucking all over the stabs, all over the fucking. I'm like, fuck it. I'll give it a little bath and.
Yep. Well, are you just gonna drive this for the rest of the time now?
Today, I don't know. Tomorrow, he didn't
might
have
need
anything for Fatty today, right? So I'm like, whatever. I'll drive this for today.
Yeah. Oh, no, we were surprised. Got acid in you today. It's like, really?
Oh yeah,
No.
he changed it up, right? So.
Oh, it's getting to that time of year, though. You guys are the ones who get screwed first because this takes a lot of trucks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck.
It is what it is. It's that time of the year. That's it. Fuck, I don't care.
Hour into the day, I already don't fucking want to be here. It's
I
like,
personally
fuck.
don't care. If it shuts us down tomorrow,
Oh.
shut down, right?
No shit, eh? Fuck, I'd be on holidays. I'd be going somewhere within a week. It's not gonna happen, but I can have fucking daydreams, can I? Fucking, I can think about it, not fucking
Yeah, he
being
sent me a
here.
message on Saturday. That's why I told Romero sign him out. Because I don't know if he has anything for Monday.
Yeah, no. One truck with each machine now, so
Yeah.
instead of fucking 3.
And plus, me and Acid are nothing compared to Joe's and Marmot's trucks, right?
Well, yeah, but what do they have other than Yuri?
Well, if they don't
The-
have anything for those trucks, then.
But isn't it just one?
No, both of them.
What's the other one?
The other one's the little Marmot truck, right? The international one.
What, the single axle?
No, it's got
Oh.
double axle, but it does the low most of the time. So that one's with Hector, right? So you're.
Oh, I would have thought Loam would be busy as hell trying to finish everything.
They're probably almost done, right? So.
Well, they had you for a day, and you
Yeah.
finished all their
Or
fucking.
I
You
did
finished
that.
all their work for them. Now they're all getting shut down.
Yeah.
Fuck. Tripled their frickin' Speed out there.
No, actually, we were going normal speed. Like, you can't really do a lot when you're doing moment, right?
Yeah. And then Joe's always working, but then
Yeah.
you and Acid, but still fucking, they don't need much more than that. And Amazon's always still doing what they
No,
do.
They got a new guy there. I don't know if it's Ali's truck, tell you the truth. I bet you it's Ali's truck.
Good on
This
him.
guy's working for Ali.
Yeah. But usually, you know, he keeps an Amazon truck or two working, but
But no, Amazon is out. He's been out for a while. I've seen him drive truck and pub for Volker. And
that's what I say. I've seen him, but he must have been hauling for someone else. Huh. Things are changing, eh?
oh yeah, times are changing. Ali's
dude.
got more power than all of us, right? So,
Yeah. His is the only crew that stayed the same. The rest of us, we're just getting too big. Too big. No one cares. Well, join the club, I guess. Fuck. Oh, whatever. Just leave me alone. That's all I care.
I'll go slow as we can. I'll go
well-
down Chaparral today and fucking, instead of going down Legacy over here.
Oh fuck! Once we're done here, is there still a bunch of open ones back there where there's just
There
grade
is,
work?
And then there's some concrete that we gotta pick up.
Yeah, I gotta pick through that. We gotta go up there.
Shuffle through it. That
Yep.
one's going to Calgary aggregate, so we'll waste a little bit of time over there.
Yeah, you guys fucking. Once we get over there, one of you'll be sitting.
Yeah, nobody said. Like Saturday, man, I couldn't believe it because he was in the. I tell you, he came out of that concrete pile, he went into the gravel pile. And I'm like, fuck that, I'm not sitting around waiting for him to come over and see what the fuck are you doing.
Fuck Saturday. 10 hours on
Oh,
Saturday
yeah.
is long, man. Fuck. Get
He's
home.
sneaky, man, he's sneaky.
Well, I'm just as tired as if I work 12 on Saturday by working 10. It's like, oh.
Oh yeah, there's a lot bombing out here. A lot.
Well, hopefully there's another job or two after this one for maintenance.
Mahogany and I guess maybe Midtown.
Fuck yeah. So, well, this week looks nice.
Yeah.
Gets into double digits, like chilly in the
And
morning.
next week it's single digits, 89.
What day of the week? What day of the month is it? The 20th. So next week
Yeah,
is gonna.
nice.
So, but we hit November next week, right?
Yep. Yeah, Halloween.
I hope we're back in Cranston, man. Every house had decorations. I want to go. Fuck! I'll put my coveralls on. Go trick or treating. Coveralls, and a hard hat, and go buy a little mask at the dollar store, and we'll go trick or treating.
Yeah.
I never seen a community have so much Halloween stuff. Made me look forward to Halloween
I
as
think they
like.
compete against
No, that's what I was gonna say. I bet you someone wins a giant ass prize, because like people spent money. Some of them skeletons are worth thousands of dollars. Like fucking right on.
So I think all that decoration.
But if you're a 5-year-old kid in that community, you're loving life on Halloween, man. Every house is an adventure.
Has to be decorated.
Yeah.
We like to compete against our neighbors.
Well, COVID killed Halloween. It's good to see people doing it again. Like, fucking get the little snot monsters out there and fucking give them candy.
No, last year we didn't get a lot of kids. That's weird. Like it's time to deteriorate.
Yeah, and you should get lots of kids. Like, you're.
Yeah, but last year we didn't get any kids.
Yeah.
Like 10 kids at the
But
most.
but at that place, I bet you got to go to Costco to buy your candy. You get so many kids.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you they get 500 to 1,000 kids at every house. Like, that's. Yeah, man, you probably need 2 people to pass
You
out
probably
candy.
know the whole community, all the kids in the community.
Yeah.
Somebody goes from like quite hard down to there. They'll be like, what
Yeah,
the fuck are you, man?
It'd be like Halloweening in my little town, though. Like parents could just drive around and guzzle because you didn't care where your kids were. You could see all the way to the other end of town. Like, they'll be back. Don't worry. Freaking everybody knows them anyway. So, well, at least we got a little bit of light now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's not too bad.
Might be a little high in the middle there. Fuck. I'd say Preston will fix it, but fuck, he won't.
Coffee time, tell her about coffee time now.
What is it? Where is he?
ask him, be like, yeah, golfing time.
Is Romero even here?
He's just sitting over in the start.
Oh, nice. Good shit.
Watching Netflix already.
If he's smart, he started downloading them into his phone now so he doesn't burn all his data. Oh, man. 8 o'clock. Little bit easier to see. Put it. Oh, sweaty sitting in his mom's basement watching YouTube again.
You're listening to The Big Show with George Russick and Matty Rose on Sportsnet 960 The Fan.
Hour 3, Big Show, Russick from Sportsnet 960 The Fan. Bottom of the hour. It's election day today in Calgary. The municipal election. And we're asking you at 960-960 on the JC Mortgage text line. If you were elected the sporting mayor, the mayor of sports in Calgary, what would be the first 2 things on your agenda in office? 960-960, name and location on the JC Mortgage text line. There'll be some of those coming up at the bottom of the hour. But first, the Blue Jays are 1 win away from a World Series appearance. Talk about it. MLB, NHL Network, Amazon Prime, our guides, Adnan Berkey, brought to you by Power Play. Perfect for day night, family outings, or corporate events. Power Play playtime at powerplay.ca. Adnan, good morning. How are you?
George, Matty, terrific fellas. Just walking outside the Bell Center. Where else would you rather be for a Game 7 of the ALCS? But Sabres Canadians. It's on Monday. It's on Prime. Hopefully people will watch it. It's the first period before they go watch the Blue Jays game. I'm all good.
And then I don't want to, I'm thinking a lot of people might watch that on replay. Might get a replay watch on that one.
Fine. George, you can't be in 2 places at the same time. Last Monday, of course, was Thanksgiving, and Forrest did text MLB Network saying, hey, if there's a Game 7 in Toronto, could you be there as a reporter? I'm like, oh, of course. I mistakenly thought Game 7 would be a Sunday. I said, oh, yeah, Sunday Jays game will be a rail. That's too much for him. Do the house Game 7 on a Monday. But, well, after they lost 2, we got blitzed yesterday. There ain't going to be a Game 7, and now there is one. So, the business, right? Hopefully it'll be a great game tonight for both the Jays and the Canadians.
What was more impressive last night, Trey Savage or the Blue Jays?
It's a great argument for both. I was driving up, so I was listening to the game with my old USDM buddies, Carl Ravitch and Laura Brandt and Kenny Kirchin. And Kirchin must have mentioned the Jays defense like every other, another double play turn. And it's like, it's amazing just how efficient they are at turning any sort of adversity into a positive. And like, you can do that as a team collectively, that's great. And their defense has been so strong for that. And think about the fact that Overshack's not playing. Hasn't impacted the offense. They're still scoring 6 runs a game. And they're 70-65 when they score 5 or more runs in a game. But defensively, a runner gets on. They're able to erase that. They're able to make the right catch and make the right throw. I mean, it's a really smart baseball team. There's no question about it. And, there's never been more scrutiny around managers and making decisions about when to pull a guy, et cetera. But then give John Schneider credit for the way he's coached these guys up. I mean, defensively, their fundamentals there. The big reason why the Blue Jays have been so successful is that their defense has been great, and the pitching can be savage. I mean, the way he's kept up with that.
How crazy is that, man, that in the history of baseball, we've never seen a guy pitch an elimination game with fewer than 5 starts in the big league.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, honestly, for Savage to do that, at 22 years of age, he started at single A to knee and to pitch that well. I mean, that was, you knew they were going to get the Yankees to Savage with the Seattle in the previous game. If the Yankees to Savage, 3 out 5 in the third of dominant, pitching, but pretty awfully strong for a guy who doesn't really feel the weight, doesn't feel the pressure. I mean, think about the fact that he throws 14 innings, right? Gennaro has here 14 years now, for 14 innings prior to being in this situation. He goes out there with absolute nails against the Yankees. Okay, what's that his best against Seattle? I wouldn't say it was 4. Just, the home run to win Rodriguez, obviously, or should have been a straight 3 Colorado's Rams. We all know that. But to just take a deep breath and go, it's okay, I got this. Like, think of where the Jays rotation was going in a year. We're talking Bassett, we're talking Barrios, we're talking Noah. Like, one by one, they've all fallen by the wayside. The injury effectiveness. And there's a guy you can trust, a 22-year-old who is their top pitching prospect, who started in single-A Dunedin. He's the one who put the Jays 1 game away from the World Series. Incredible story.
What do you make of John Schneider's managerial decisions as far as his bullpen choices over games 4, 5, and 6?
Well, he definitely got torched for the little decision, and even while watching it, again, you guys are playing the Jays and are, more focused on the national level, but even while watching it with Jake Peavy, former Cy Young winner, Alex Avila, all stories inside of the World Series, even we were like, eh? Like when you would, even like people who are not following the Jays, they think of the head scratch and squinting like, eh? Like that just doesn't make sense. And the thought process was, for Little, was that he, I think Sean Schneider said he wanted to give him a different look, and that was his main thought process. And so he wanted to give him a different look, see what happens. But I just think in that situation, you got to use your best pitcher against the best hitter. You go with Austin, and then you figure out guys, because to make it more, you want to have to make it as your setup guy, which you've been most of the season, and then if Austin is a closer, that makes sense as well. Either way, I think you use Little in that spot. Even if you can't play that protecting me, in college, if you want to let him go with Bluebird. It was really, really odd. And I understand, because when you take yourself, the more times that a hitter sees a starting pitcher third time to the order, that's an advantage, right? We all know that to help the starting offense. So similarly, the more times you see a reliever in a series, that benefits the hitting. So I understand his point in well, they haven't seen a different look. Let's put Raleigh on the right side. Well, by the way, Cal Raleigh had 22 or 60 home runs on the right side. He's not like a guy who isn't a good switch hitter. Like, he can still do it. So it really was just this. And it's a decision, but to John's credit, you warned, he understood it. As I said, there's never more scrutiny around bullpens and managers, so I get it. I still think he's done a great job, and again, the one win away.
Yeah, and for Louis Varland and Jeff Hoffman to go out and have the performance they did backing up Trey Savage yesterday, that was obviously encouraging for the team. What are your expectations for Shane Bieber here tonight? For me, he's had some shaky first innings, but as long as he's able to get through that first inning, he seems to really settle in nicely.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy story to think that we're in this situation, and the Blue Jays acquired this guy at the trade deadline, and he might be a former Cy Young Award winner, but he's coming off Tommy John surgery. The Jays did not have to dig out the top prospect to get him. To think that they're in this situation right now is pretty wild to me. I mean, it's just, to be able to acquire him and he's going to be pitching the Blue Jays in a game of this magnitude, I mean, it couldn't have worked out better. Now, we'll see how Bieber pitches tonight, but to me, he's a guy that you can generally rely on. Now, game 3 against the Yankees was not reliable. They couldn't even get through 3 innings. Did not pitch well in the Bronx, but I'm with you that as long as he gets to that first inning, very sure sort of asking in that respect. These veteran guys, if they can get to the first inning to settle them down, they get stronger as the game progresses. They get more giddy up with their fastball as the game goes through. This whole third time order doesn't work for a guy like Bieber. The good news is for both teams is that, it's a short bullpen, obviously, short leash. I mean, everyone's available, all hands on deck. It's not used out. Everybody can pitch. If Dawson needs to pitch, he'll definitely be available. Like Bumgarner coming out in Game 7 for the Giants years ago against the Royals. After he pitched so magnificently. So there's no doubt. If you need an inning or two to come and go, so they'll do it. If you need the Eric Flowers, and they'll be there ready to go. And then, of course, you have the bullpen, which, Varland and Hoffman did look good yesterday. So I expect Bieber to pitch well, and I think if he doesn't, he'll get the quick hook. So it's up to him. We're not going to have a 5-inning, 4-run kind of range. If he doesn't pitch well, it'll be 2 1/3, 3-run run, and he'll be out of the game.
And then Bert, MLB, NHL Network, Amazon Prime Monday Night Hockey, joining us here, courtesy of Powerplay, the show Russ and Rose, Sportsnet 960, The Fan. And then if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leads the Blue Jays to the World Series, does it even matter what he does the rest of his career, honestly, with that enormous contract?
Yeah, I think it's a situation where for Vlad Jr., he's had such a quick streak, 6 home runs and 2 strikeouts. It's pretty remarkable. And the fact that he's doing this, I mean, here's the thing. Normally guys have power, but they'll strike out. Like Reggie Jackson, we keep talking about Ohtani, the greatest postseason performance ever. And if you look at what Reggie did in his career, 563 home runs, but he struck out like 2,500 times. Like normally power hitters are going to be, swing and miss, and you deal with that. With regards to Glad, it's like, I don't know what's more effective, the 6 home runs or the 2 strikeouts. To have those kinds of back-to-ball skills is pretty remarkable, and to be able to do that in this kind of pressure, it's amazing. Like ultimately, if the Blue Jays win this game, we can look at the collective job they've done with their offense, Gary Clements, etc. But I honestly think, dude, like, to Glad to do this. By the way, the extension kicks in next year, as we all know. Like, then it becomes 14 years, $500 million. Like, a playoff like this will erase any concerns over the fact he only had 23 home runs in the regular season. It erases any concerns about how they have, a good enough body to hold up.
She's designed like
last
that.
on the radio, he said, listen, anybody who doesn't realize how athletic this guy
We're
is,
picking up
you're
the
not paying
concrete.
attention. And in order for us, years ago,
And I need it to be able to fit into my gutter here, so
it's
got to be a certain width to be able to get into all the spots I need.
Key insurance run, like, dude, don't get it wrong, right? Don't expect that some guy's gonna have your guy. No, dude, he's athletic.
Pretty much
His defense
one
is above
job.
average. It's plus 8 defensive run saved at first base. It's actually well
Combine it
above
with
average
being able
first
to
base.
do this.
Under bases foul, like hitting the ball with power, like you wouldn't believe. I mean, again,
A lot of
6 homers,
different
2 Ks for a power hitter. That does not happen in the playoffs.
But
Great
great
to a
endurance.
smoking hot, prisoner of the moment, recency bias case.
Kane,
It's got to use it.
That Addison Barger home run is now more important than the fast flip home run.
wow. I mean, that is... I need to hear more to explain that, because that's a hell of a take.
Because all of a sudden, if the Blue Jays go on and win in Game 7, that home run solidifies Game 6. They have a chance to win Game 7, go to the World Series for the first time in over 30 years. The Bafflet game was a DS game against Texas, and they ultimately lost in the ALCS. It became down to the more important home run.
Yeah, I was going to say, you do look at just the importance of it really is the key word. I mean, it kind of makes you think about with this Ohtani game, like I keep saying it's the greatest postseason performance I've ever seen in my life. But at the same when you start talking about greatest performances ever, you're like, listen, Bob Gibson in a Game 7 in 67 pitched a complete game and hit a home run. He struck out 10 and they won the Game 7 too, and he went deep. So, like, and that was Game 7 of a World Series. You will not find bigger stake that. So, like, in terms of greatest performances ever, I do agree with you. The level of the playoffs does show the impact, the difference. Like, Kovac Game 1 where a complete game straight. Now, again, he didn't go deep in the 65 World Series, but the ties in 3 home runs in the LCS Game 7. So I'm with you. I think the season, the Bafflet is an iconic moment. It signifies an era of Blue Jays baseball. It galvanized the fan base. It was the best news they had in 20 years since the 90 World Series. But yeah, if the Barger homer ends up propelling them to a place they haven't been since 93, 2 Ks can be big.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch. George Springer fighting through that ball that went off his leg too. That looked incredibly painful. He's able to go out there and be the leadoff and the designated hitter for the Jays in the game there yesterday. Do you expect any lineup changes? Do you like how John Schneider's gone about deploying his bats throughout this series?
Yeah, I mean, that's always the tricky part of it. Like, you guys are talking about how good the Jays defense is. Like, David Schneider is probably...
Yeah, like, this is what it's actually for. Like, I can turn it like this,
so, like, it kind of
grab
depends
a
on,
piece,
you
twist
know, how John is
underneath
feeling
it.
at that moment. But, yeah, I'm of the opinion...
It can stick out the sides of my bucket, you know? Like, I can pick it up like that, you know? See how it sticks out? So I'm not leaving it
Montreal, maybe.
to size.
Yeah,
I can pick it. I'm more limited about how wide the truck is.
Yep, we got you.
Okay, I was just saying, a lot of
If it's
times I think
too wide for the truck, I can bust it
feel like
in
he's got the
pieces.
right recipe for success.
But
I
when
was
you
just
need to
saying
get
that
a
with
tweak
Schneider,
piece
like,
out,
maybe you can do more offense. The defense is blocking a little bit more, so that's why they made that decision in terms of like, yeah. But I just thought it was
like
as
that,
mentioned, that's
I
a
can
really
get all the dirt away from it just by snagging
borderline
it.
heroic. I mean, he should not be in there. We all know that. Like, when he's swinging, I think, you know, like golfer hits the ball, and it's against the crumble, like, you know, Tiger Woods was crumble under the weight of that knee. That's Springer. Like, his
It's
body
also got a
can't support it,
slight
but
angle
it's
to
still
it,
competitive at
so
back.
it
He's still going to be up there
forces
fighting and made that upper body. Like, I can't imagine we go, they
This
home
is
run
what
right
it's
now, the way his
actually
knee
for.
is. But can he fight and scratch and claw and get a base hit or
Great
work a key
versus
walk? I'm like,
something you
yeah,
learn to
George
do
Springer
with
is one of the keys, the catalyst for this team. So I've been impressed with the fact he's hanging in there. Hopefully he'll be a little bit better today with some more treatment.
Wanted to get your thoughts on the Shohei Ohtani game. That was pretty cool.
Oh my God, like I got to be on the decks for that game, fellas, and it was such a privilege for MLB Network that I got to deal with JP out and Bill, the aforementioned. I mean, we're watching that game and we're basically just focusing on Ohtani as a pitcher, like what can he provide, and 6 strong innings, 10 strikeouts, a couple hits. I like the fact that Dave Roberts let him go. I mean, like, today's game, you feel like, oh, they'll go 4 innings, 4 to third, maybe 5. The fact that, no, we're going 6 innings, everybody, like, we're good. That was nice to see Ohtani throw 100 pitches. That just feels like a rarity in today's game. And as far as the home runs, I mean, dude, like, when you're hitting the ball that deep, first homer, like, that's very rare to hit the pavilion at Dodger Stadium. The second homer, you're already like, okay, who would be falling? The third one, I made the mistake of just looking down at my phone at the crack of the bat, but then looked up and saw the ball flying and offered a few expletives because I was just so in shock at what I was seeing. I mean, again, greatest postseason performances ever. I think I remember Pujols in Game 3, 2011 World Series, worked at ESPN. A 3-homer game, 5 hits was awesome. David Freese in that series in Game 6. Tying homer in the 9th, winning homer in the 11th. Like, those are big-time games, big-time moments. But I've never seen a guy do that, man. I mean, you start to get hyperbolic and run into adjectives. It'll leave an indelible impact on anybody who was there, anybody who likes baseball, anybody who appreciates baseball history. That's as good as it gets. 3 homers, a combined 1,369 feet. Like, he didn't get cheated. He murdered the ball. And he pitched so effectively, using his finger, using his changeup, his slider.
They're going to turn this back into a sideball.
It was awesome. And think of the fact, he'd been fairly quiet, Georgia man. Like, he hadn't had a great series, right? He only one hit Game 2, wasn't doing much. And then he becomes the LCS MVP by virtue of 1 game. And overall, that Dodgers starting pitching, I mean, 1.54 ERA, they were absolutely electric. So just a feeble effort by the Brewers. 4 runs scored in 4 games. Don't waste my time.
Yeah. And I don't even know what's even the comparable. Like, I don't even know what the comparable is. There's nothing in hockey. It's not like you score a hat-trick and get a shutout. You can't do both. I guess in football, if you were the quarterback and you go out there and, like, run back a pick 6 on defense, or you have, like, 10 tackles and 3 sacks, like, there's no comparable in sports with this guy doing.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, right? Like, two-way players, like, I should have think about it, and you would have to look at maybe a Bo Jackson. Again, Bo is not, like, leading the league in rushing and hitting 50 home runs. Like, Ohtani is the lead to both, right? That's what ends up being missed. Like, it's not like he's an okay pitcher. Like, he's a guy like a 4.5 year old. I don't feel like he's awesome. Like, he could have been a Cy Young if he pitched an entire year. Like, he's been top 5 in Cy Young voting when he pitched an entire season. But he's a lead pitcher. And then as a hitter, you go, oh, he's the first 50-50 guy ever. Like, again, it's not, he's a good hitter. He hits 280, 25 home runs. I don't know, bro, I'm going to hit 50 home runs. I can still 50 fans. Whatever you want me to do, I will do it. Like, whatever challenge he has. I've seen this before. Like, right now, he's in the top 5 players of all time, right? It's Babe Ruth, it's Barry Bonds, and Hank actually made it to Ohtani. If he wins the Cy Young, I think he's the greatest player of all time. I don't think he's
Cy Young and
he's batting that no one else is doing. He's about to win his 4th MVP. Bonds won 7. We all know the circumstances in which that was achieved. So you can already make the case now he's the best double ever had. But yeah, I think you know something to go like, he reminds me like a Jim Thorpe, right? He's like almost like an Olympian. It's like, oh, he's like a Jim Brown. He can be elite at the NFL, and he could be the best lacrosse player in the world if you look at the life of Jim Brown. So that's why you look at Ohtani. It's almost like an Olympian doing different disciplines rather than an athlete the way we're accustomed to saying.
How fun are the Dodgers to get to that series?
Oh my God! I remember at one point thinking, hey, this would be great. I mean, these are 2 fabulous cities, LA and Toronto. Diverse, cosmopolitan, passionate, great fan bases. We all know how great the Jays are. It's nice United States for a while now. Like, I always think if you're like a 30-year-old fan of the team, you haven't experienced that. Like, you could be around it, but you don't have no conflict like that the team in the World Series. That's what it's on
Manny right now.
Yeah, like, he doesn't know, like, I know what Joe Carter is. It's a homer, but like, when you're 6 or 7, you remember those moments. So unless you're like a 40-year-old man like me, you don't know how special that can be. And as far as Los Angeles is concerned, well, what's sweeter to the Blue Jays than beating the Mets? Nobody wants to face the Brewers in the World Series, all due respect. No one's dreaming of facing Bryce Terang or Freddie Peralta. I'm going to go beat Ohtani. I'm going to go beat Mookie Betts. I'm going to beat Freddie Freeman. Parents are Canadian. Of course, we all know the takes from Tim Cannon. He's ready to play at the Rogers Center. So that's where I think it would be awesome special. You've got tons of star power. We all know the Jays are going to be underdog. We all know Fox and everybody in the States are rooting for the Dodgers. That's, better for ratings, better to have the American team win. Us versus them mentality. And again, were the Dodgers heavily favored? Of course they would, but I could start to talk myself into the ways that the Jays can make this a competitive series. They were fourth most in runs scored. Offense has not slowed at any real point here in the playoffs. Maybe a couple games will get quiet, but then they'll come out and bludgeon the team. So the strength of the Dodgers has been what? As I mentioned, they're starting pitching, but the Jays can hit. That's their strength. And the Dodgers will have a big layoff. Don't forget, right? Days off, man, again. That has hurt teams in the past. Look at the Rockies in 07. Everyone remembers October. Vila himself mentioned to me the Tigers team he played on, I believe 2012. They had swept the Yankees to get to the World Series and then got swept themselves. So, you know, the layoff is a real thing, and it can impact some teams more than others. Other Dodgers are better than latent team. Will they do ways to cope with it? Of course they will. But don't tell me the Jays have no chance if they get the World Series. They can win it.
Amidst flying around North America for Amazon's Prime Monday Night Hockey and doing all the baseball stuff, do you find time to sneak in a little bit of cinema, a little film here and there, or do you put it on the layaway for a couple weeks?
No, I get it done. I was waiting anxiously with anticipation. As soon as they mentioned Mr. Scorsese on Apple TV Plus, I immediately, as a member of the Critics' Choice Association, still a man who no longer Maddie, but still a member of the CCA, so I immediately hit up the people at Apple and said, that screener. So I had devoured it. It is a 5-part, 4.5-hour documentary about America's greatest living director, and of course my personal favorite, Martin Scorsese. It is unbelievable. The first piece is really interesting, talking about upbringing. I'm just shocked so many of his friends are still around in the neighborhood. They're talking about Marty as a kid, the fact he wanted to be a priest as a child, the fact he grew up in a very tough neighborhood, which, you know, it's why when you watch Goodfellas, that kid peering through the window, that was Marty. Like, he wasn't allowed to go outside. He had terrible asthma, but he was able to, you know, watch the whole world with wise guys and tough guys, etc. Use that in Main Street. Then part 2 gets him and De Niro, Taxi Driver, The Raging Bull. Part 3, cocaine addiction, overdosing, we got 4 wives. And then it wraps up with part 5, which when DiCaprio takes the picture, and you get Gangs of New York, and at 70 years old, he makes his most profitable movie in Wolf of Wall Street. And then, of course, back-to-back, big Oscar, being The Irishman, and Killers of the Flower Moon. So it is an outstanding documentary. It is highly entertaining. You got De Niro, DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, all his collaborators, and Marty himself is always funny, always reflective, and an absolute movie almanac. If you love movies, if you love documentaries, Apple TV Plus, Mr. Scorsese, check it out.
Is there anybody that you haven't got to write some comments about your book yet?
No, you know what? I was able to.
I could write my name on the asphalt with one
Social
tooth.
media here, I'm like,
I've
God,
done
these are
it
a bunch
before.
of heavy
It's not
hitters.
like
My
super
goodness.
pretty, but it's legible.
Well, you know, it's so funny.
As
I
good
hit
as
up my
some
dear friend
freaking
Ben
sixth
Lyons,
grader
who's so essential
nowadays.
to me. It's such a great friend. He's like, got me to the Oscars, as we all know.
Oh, we're gonna
It's
take a
the one
little
that
break here,
took
guys.
us off
I'm
the new
gonna check
heights.
some
So
shit.
he gave me the personal phone
Now
number
we're just fixing
of
sidewalks
Miles Teller and
because
Josh
they're
and all. They're not
damaged.
texting like
A
this.
whole bunch
I
of shit
feel that
here
never
sank,
happens. You
so
always go through the
gotta come through and tear it all up. Whatever. I don't really ask too many questions. Just smash. Oh, thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back for a little while. Or back in a little while. Thanks for watching.